Hello and welcome back to Odd Ones. We are on episode 11.
11? Oh my gosh.
We already recorded this beginning part and
I wasn't shocked
I
then.
forgot to do the audio and she wasn't shocked, you guys. So she's starting to get into
I hit it.
Yep.
I did.
So we are continuing on with our deep dive into the love languages.
Really deep.
And before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe,
Hit that bell.
check down below if you want to see more videos like this, and don't forget to send emails to us.
Oh no, I forgot the catchphrase for the end.
I don't
Anyway,
remember what-
so last we were here, we were talking about the third of the 5 love languages in no particular order, which was gifts. Not to be confused with,
GIFs.
is it GIF or GIF?
Nobody knows.
All right. Well, but we were talking about trip pants, which I didn't know.
Mhm.
And the difference between trip pants and Jinkos, which are a brand, not so much a style, but the pants that I had, the difference is the trip pants, TRIPP, have
Ooh la la.
bondage straps.
Ooh la la again.
So I didn't know that that was available
Well,
otherwise.
I had the trip pants. I was into the
I thought you
bondage
had
thing.
bell bottoms.
No, trip pants are kind of like bell bottoms.
I will disagree with that.
They're called trip pants because they trip you. I'll put some freaking pictures here of the trip pants right here, right there.
I love those things. I don't know that is what I saw online,
I'll show you.
but I am very interested. Anyway, that's what we were talking about. Now, we are on the home stretch. I'm super excited because the last one only has one bullet
Where did that catchphrase come from? Home stretch?
Probably.
Baseball, maybe?
That's what I was thinking. Acts of service. Tell them about it. Tell the good people.
Well, good people. Acts of service
Or bad
are
people.
oh my. Acts of service are pretty much things that you do for your partner to make their life a little bit easier. So that would be like mowing the lawn. If he's tired and doesn't want to do it, you go mow the lawn for him, or wash the dishes, or cook dinner for your wife, or things like that. Doing breakfast in bed, all these different things. That you
Setting out clothes, making coffee.
Yep.
Any of that.
For another example for men to do for women is checking the oil in their car, checking tire pressure, gas, all those different things.
I think when we took the test, you and I both had, like, that was the middle of the road, right? You had quality time and physical touch, then acts of service. And I had words of affirmation, though I don't know. Again, I want to take it with the people, the good people at the end.
They really should have categorized it between what you do for other people and what you want done for you. Like do 2 different tests like that, because for me, quality time and physical touch are what I want, but what I want to give is acts of service and quality time.
I think that's accurate because the way I've always understood it is that you
I
love
love how you
how
just took a big bite of cheese and like you're now trying to hide it. You're like,
I am.
okay.
I'm starving. If you're a feeder, keep watching.
This is our new thing, mukbang.
And I'll have to have Dayla sing it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure I understood it as you give how you want to receive, right? So I am definitely a words of affirmation person, even though I have kind of distanced myself from that. But acts of service are totally my thing.
But that's not true for me. Like I would rather do things for you than you do things for me.
Right. And that's the anomaly here. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I made that up. I don't know if I just in my head conceptualized that, but I think that's true for some of the kids too, though. I don't know about other people, but anyway.
Yeah.
So acts of service, doing things that your spouse wants done.
So, I mean, I think we already kind of covered that part where it's like, if she has a to-do list, do it without complaining. do it happily because you're trying to perform acts of service for her and or him, whatever the situation may
Over
be.
them.
Yep. Um, so again, that's doing their laundry, ironing for them.
Ugh, ironing is terrible.
Yeah, but pretty much anything extra, I would consider it. Like if you guys have blue v pink jobs in the house, then maybe swap them up a little so you can help them with their chore list essentially.
So then we get into a dynamic. Let me look at the bullet points. Okay. For me, if you came in while I was doing our laundry, right?
Hmm.
And you started doing the laundry, I don't mind you swapping it over because it could be in the eternal hold pattern, right?
Yeah.
Um, I would be upset. Not like, ugh, upset, but that would hurt my feelings because that is the way that I choose to show you love and adoration. Um, if you came in there and you're like, "Oh, I know she's had a long day, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell her to go somewhere else, and then I'll take care of this." Well, maybe I wanted to be there, and maybe that's how I serve you. So I think that, again, communication is so important because
Hmm.
knowing what the other person wants to do, and maybe, like, for a long time, I didn't know that you didn't want me to do your laundry,
Hmm.
right? I did, and you were alright with that, until you weren't.
Yep.
Um and now I still do your laundry, but
That does bring me to a thing that a lot of young couples or immature couples do,
mhm,
which is there's so many times where I will hear, like, for instance, a daughter and her boyfriend, they'll they'll be doing something, and it's not just them, it's every young couple goes through this, where the let's say the boy comes up to the girl and she's in the middle of doing something and he's like, "Oh, let me help you with that." And she doesn't really want help, so she'll be like, "No, it's okay. It's all right." And then he's like, "No, seriously, let me help you real quick." And then she's like, "No, I got it.
mhm,
I'm good." And that back and forth continues. That's fine at the beginning of a relationship, but I do find it really annoying whenever, you haven't done this in a long time, and I don't think I've done it for you in a long time, but it's like if you say like if for you, for instance, you're saying that you really want to do the laundry for me, and I come
mhm,
in there and I'm like, "Oh, let me help you with the laundry," and you're like, "No, I got it," and then I continue like asking you, it almost becomes a pseudo argument. It's almost like annoying to continue saying, "Oh no, I really want to do this for you," and
right.
then I'm like, "Oh no, I want to help you." So communication again. If if you say, "Oh no, I want to do the laundry," I should be able to take that cue and say, "Okay, what else can I do for you? Can
I
I make
love
the bed
that.
for you? Can I do something, whatever? Can I get you a drink even? Something simple?"
It's like you read my mind because the first thought I had, um, I think we by nature want to do what's easy, want
Mhm,
to do what's right in front of us. You want to spend time with me. Oh, here she's doing the laundry. I'm going to say, oh no, I insist. Let me help you. Well, maybe there's 300 other things that I have
mhm,
going on in my mind. If you really want to help me for me, then ask me, well, if I can't do this, what else can I do?
yeah,
Um, and you have to tell somebody. So the this isn't just for romantic relationships, but platonic too. Um, I don't want help from someone who's going to make my life harder. So you're going to come in there, you're going to help me,
mhm.
and then I'm going to have to go behind you and refold everything or wash the dishes again or whatever.
Here's a really good example of that. It's not where you would have to refold after me.
Mhm.
It's I'm particular about towels if I'm doing them. I don't care how you do them if you're doing them, but if I'm doing them, I was trained in a certain way at an old job to fold towels a certain way. So if we're doing it together, I'm like, no, you need to refold them. And now I'm making double work for you. So,
Am I not folding them right?
no, I'm saying if I'm doing it.
No, but I'm saying if you were doing it,
I mean, this is a discussion that we've had before.
but I thought I was doing it right.
I don't
How
know.
do you fold
I
towels?
haven't paid attention to how you folded towels in a long time because you've taken that off my plate.
But how do you fold towels?
Fold it into thirds and then fold it
1, 2, 3.
so it's like fold, fold,
Oh,
and
no.
then
Nope.
fold, and then
Immediately,
fold
no.
again.
Yep.
Our
It's
towels
just
are a little bit too thick to do that for our little cubby hole anyway, so
mhm.
it doesn't really work out. But
Anyway,
yeah,
I fold in half and then in half again, and then I do the
it's
third.
okay
So
to do things the wrong way. Just kidding. What are you writing down over there?
how to fold the towels right.
No, like I
I
said,
know, but it's just funny that I thought in my mind, where else would I think? I was doing it in a way that would I don't know, that's a lie. I'm lying to myself right now.
okay.
Before,
Don't worry, we'll catch up here in a second with you.
yep, I said not to drink that, and here I am breaking my own rules.
Yeah,
Um,
we do it every time.
beforehand, before I don't, what hand I don't know. Uh, let's say a year ago, if you had shown me how to do that, and then I didn't agree, I would just do what I wanted to.
Mm,
Where now I really like to do things and not just in a way that I like to do them to get them done, but in a way that makes you happy. So, me folding the towels in a way that you would fold them makes me feel like I'm doing acts of service. Double
acts of
acts.
service.
Yeah. AAOS. Anyway,
You need a bracelet with that on it.
AAOS.
Yeah,
You're gonna be like, what's that? Next is, and you kind of rolled into that, ask how you can help.
yeah. I mean, that one. All these are kind of self-explanatory in a way. So yeah, I mean, just if you see somebody, if you see your wife or your husband struggling, or your spouse struggling, or if you see that you're done with all of your chores and you have energy still, just go ask like, "Hey, how can I help you? What do you need done?" Or there's a lot of times where I see like just being transparent here. Lara has ADHD, so sometimes I notice that she's being distracted.
Drowning
Yeah, and maybe I see that she's not doing dinner in a timely manner, and
every
so
time.
I'm like, all right, I'll take that over because I see that she's doing other things, and so it might not be me like verbalizing, hey, this is an act of service, because why would I? That feels kind of cocky to me, but so I just go in there and start cooking, and then you come in there and take over if you want, or find something else to do.
I'm glad you said that because um, immediately I thought it has been hurtful because I know if it makes a turd, you're happy, right?
Mhm.
But those turds have been brewing for days. They're not Taco Bell turds,
What in
right?
the world are you talking
Talking about if
about?
it makes a turd, then you're happy, but it takes me so long to make dinner
Oh,
because of
okay, I
that.
see. That analogy was kind of
No, we'll watch it back. I think that was good.
okay. I'm glad you're happy with it.
Um,
Um, Another example of what was the question again? Sorry, I was kind of distracted about a thing.
ask how you can help.
So this isn't this is again not really asking how you can help. This is more or less jumping in whenever things are necessary. Going above and beyond whenever things are necessary.
Mhm.
So if you're sick and you can't take care of the house, that now just instantly in my head just triggers that kind of, okay, I need to do all roles, kind of like all hands on deck kind of thing. And you okay over there?
I'm about to have a conversation with the audience.
Oh, you had to get up in there.
I
That's what it
did.
was.
Go ahead.
But so yeah, so it might not be to the same level, same standards that you're doing, like sweeping and mopping in the same way that you do, but at least it's getting done
Mhm.
while you're out of commission. You know,
Absolutely. Ladies, gentlemen, good people or bad people. Um, if you are I like not the analogy, but the example of taking care of a sick spouse, right? If your spouse is unwell, I do understand there's a grace thing, right?
mhm.
So you're having to now take on both roles. And depending on how you parent, that could be more or less work. Um, if you had kids, you can put them to work to help you along the way. For me, the hardest part about being sick is not about being sick, it's about what do I have to deal with when I'm better.
Yeah.
So, it's essentially a pause button on all the things I do every day to maintain a moderately clean house with 3 teens and 2 dogs and 2.5 cats, who knows, depending on the day. Plus
What
my
she means by that is we have a cat that Sometimes we have 3 cats, but one of them kinda likes to mosey off for a few months and then come back when it right whenever we think he's dead, he likes to come back.
You know what I never considered?
Was
What
that
if Cypress taught him that?
Yeah, Cypress did that a couple times where he would just, like, mosey off for a while.
Right.
That's our oldest cat.
We should put a picture right here.
Okay,
Uh,
I'll have to find a picture now.
what was that? So I think it's important,
I was
like,
just gonna put a picture of Garfield up there.
okay.
Same cat.
I think it's important if you are like for me, I don't want to say I'm a control freak. My brain finds peace in things done a certain way and in a specific timeline, which I have gotten a lot better about recently. But
Mm,
I say that a lot. I don't know if I'm telling me or trying to convince myself. Um if you know that you're not feeling well and the person that you're with has to pick up the slack, like don't be ridiculous. Oh, well, I was sick and then you didn't, I don't know, spray bleach first and then spray that first,
yeah.
That go in and do what you can and it's okay to ask for help along the way. And when you talk about ask how you can help, I think in general, just like you said, hey, you coming in, I want to help you fold laundry. Well, I don't need that. Having a check-in with your significant other, especially if one of you carries more of one load than the other, and I think that that's a natural balance. Like, I definitely expect you, I'm not checking my oil
Mhm,
or my tire pressure. Like,
mhm,
if it's low, then I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I got a flat tire, that's it."
yeah,
I 100% count on you to do that because that's how our dynamic is, where I don't think you're ever coming in and being like, minus the bed sheets and work clothes, right?
mhm,
You're not asking me, "When's the last time you mopped?" Like, how's that going?
yeah,
Um, I think we as anybody who's in a caretaker role, whether
mhm,
you're man, woman, single, doesn't matter. It is natural for you to just kind of get into a flow of things. When somebody comes in and says, "How can I help?" That is sometimes I don't even know how I can help myself. Like I don't even know what's going on. Being able to serve in a way that might be uncomfortable to you is important because it is an act of service.
yep.
And if your significant other is telling you, can we please do this? Can we please do this? Can we please do this for months on end, for weeks on end? That is your cue to know they want that done. Like if
Yep.
they talk to you about it 3 times, just do it.
Um, Touching on what you were just saying about, whenever somebody comes in and says, "Oh, what can I do?" Um, that's why I don't really like this one, specifically. Yes, every once in a while, ask what can be done, but at the same time, it's like we're all adults here, and yes, communication is key, but the nonverbals are key too. So, for instance, everything that I said, that if you're sick, if all this is going on, but also it's like if Mother's Day or your birthday is coming around, obviously those aren't days that you need to be cleaning. And by the way, if you're an asshole that says, "Oh, well, you're not my mama," and she's either raising your stepkids or your biological kids, just do something nice for her. Just go and mop the floors, get her a gift, get her some chocolate, do whatever she needs done. Um, don't be that guy. Period. If she is a mom, she is a mom in your life, whether she's your mom or anybody else's mom. She is a mother in your life. Show her some appreciation on those days. So I'm always gonna say that crap because I've heard two examples. I'm not gonna say any people, but I've heard two examples of that happening, and I'm just like, what a butthole! Like, come on. But anyway, so on those kind of days, on Mother's Day, birthday, specifically go out of your way to do a little bit of extra work for her. Um, or if you're in a uh um LBGT community kind of thing, do a little bit of extra stuff for each other on Father's Day. If one of you has a kid, y'all are both raising that kid together. Do something on Father's Day or that Mother's Day to help out too without being told. And that's the thing, like I said, we're all adults. We can open our eyes a little bit. And yeah, I'm being a little bit brutal here, but we can all open our eyes a little bit and see where the other person might be struggling without having to ask. And the reason that I'm being so brutal in all of this is because there's times that I see you struggling And I could just be like, "Oh, well, those are her jobs. I'm gonna let her do those things." Or I could be
Mhm.
like, "My wife's struggling. I need to take care of her. I need to help her." Even if that's not my job, even if, we have blue and pink jobs, even if the laundry's not my job, there has been, quite a few times where I'm like, "She's struggling," obviously, whether it's ADHD, whether it's, the blues, any of these different things, and I see the laundry needs to be done, I'm just gonna go do the laundry. I'm not gonna sit there and wait for you to say, "Hey, Bjorn, can you help do the laundry for me?" Or, anything like that. "Can you help me do the bed sheets and stuff like that?" I can see whenever there's sand on them or something like that. I can most certainly
Mhm.
help without having to be told. I'm not a child, and I don't need to come in there and ask for certain things. There's other things where it's like I don't really necessarily see it. I drop my thing again every time. I drop my thing fidget thing. But there's certain things like baseboards. I don't ever think about those, back in a past life whenever it's just me. Yeah, I would have definitely thought about that, but because you've taken care of it for the last 6 years, I don't think about those things. And so if I came to you and was like, "Is there anything else that you need help with?" after I've already without being asked, um, went and did other things for you.
Mhm.
Um, and then you're like, "Hey, yeah, can you do the baseboards for me?" I'll be like, "Yeah, hey kids, come and do the baseboards."
Right.
Because
As long as you're
I'm
getting it
too
done,
old.
right?
But um
No, sir. If I'm not too old, you're not too old.
you
But
are too old. If we have a bunch of teenage kids in here, you're too old
people,
to be doing that until they're
people, you
out.
heard it.
I'm saying me and you are we have
Right.
three teenage kids that can come in here and do this. But yeah, and the other thing in all of this is especially with the nonverbal things, you're not going in there to hear, "Oh, thank you so much for doing that." You're not going
Stay
into
out of my brain.
I mean, it's just rude to do something for somebody just to look for that gratification to me.
Before you go into that, because I do want to like talk about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I have seen enough content out there where they are saying, hey, like as a man, and I don't know, I'm not a man, so I don't know. I need a list.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not looking at that. It's the whole like, oh, get my drink off the counter, or like the mom kid joke, oh, get my purse. And
Yeah.
oh, the purse isn't there, but the purse is right there. Or, if you're looking for something in the fridge, you're like, I don't see it. It's literally right in front of your face. So some people are not good at reading between the lines. And I think that even as well as you know me, and you are good at reading between the lines, there's still like other lines that you're not good
Mhm.
at reading at. Or maybe I verbalize something, and because of you, if you have memory issues or you get distracted easily, that's me. Uh, those things kind of fall to the wayside, and then you've moved on. So I don't want someone to walk away thinking that, oh well, if I don't pick up on those subtle cues, I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
But you can say, hey, listen, I'm not good at those subtle cues.
Mhm.
I know that I should know what it takes. I could think of a friend, very much an example of that is they have said what they felt like they had said what they wanted, and this other person isn't picking up on those.
Mm.
And they go to pitch in other ways, and they're like, "Oh," the significant other says, "That's not helpful at all. Your way of fixing the situation is actually giving me more anxiety, causing me more work." So um, I think there's a balance. I think it's always good to be observant.
Yeah.
I try to, you know, when I get in your truck, I try to clean it out. I know that you work hard. You don't have time for that. Even when you do have time for that, like who wants to clean out their car? So when I, go in there every night to get the coffee cup, now I'm checking the car
Mhm.
or the truck rather. Um, it is a conscientious effort that you have to put in to put somebody else at the forefront of your mind because most of us just kind of autopilot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, moment to moment. Um, but again, when you said be observant, sometimes people just aren't
Yeah.
and talk about it first.
And I think a lot of this comes I feel like there's 2 demographics where this happens in. It's like young couples, meaning age-wise, that have been together for a few years. So they're like, say it's a 18-year-old couple that got together whenever they were 16. Well, now they're starting to get into the like groove of
Real life.
things.
Yeah.
And because they're getting into the groove of things, but they're still, teenagers, they still have that mindset of like, "Oh, I'm just gonna leave this dish here and the next person can get it." Right?
You see that all the time, like, when couple sorry, I was trying to cover that up, but you do see younger couples who act how they did when they were at home,
Yep,
and that carries right over, and what if you have 2 of you doing that?
yep. But then the other problem is that so it kind of continues or becomes reestablished later on in life. Like the same kind of mentality almost happens again later on in life because
About later on,
like mid 30s, you know, maybe into the 40s, I
right.
would say, because again, you guys have become so comfortable
Mhm.
that why are you trying to hide it? It's
'Cause
okay.
you're zooming in to you, right?
Huh?
We're not now.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna watch this in full flare.
I'm just gonna talk and have only your camera
I'll take a
showing while
light.
you're eating cheese. But anyway, so I could definitely see where if there's a couple not working on things, they've become comfortable, the wife has taken on certain duties. Well, now the man is just gonna be like, I mean, it's like the shorts that I used to make,
Mm.
where it's like, oh, don't worry, man, leave your peanut butter friggin' spoon right here next to the sink because they'll take care of it. And
At least you made it to the sink now.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
But I don't want you to it's funny that a dynamic between 2 people can change your perspective.
Mhm.
Like, the shower curtain as an example, like, just close it. You left the shower, close the curtain,
Mm.
and I got so hung up on that, and now, like, it's endearing to me, like, I'm gonna go close that.
I've been closing it.
You have.
Yeah.
That was just an example that came to my mind, but the peanut butter spoon is one
Yeah.
where I don't want you to clean your dishes.
Mhm.
Anyway, I didn't
But
mean to interrupt.
there is a sweet point there in the middle where maybe both parties are getting together whenever they're in their mid 20s,
Right,
and now they've kind of become accustomed of how they like things. They want the toilet cleaned a certain way, they want the bathtub cleaned a certain way. So now both of them are coming together, and that causes different issues where it's like, okay, I like the bathtub cleaned a certain way, and you're not doing it that way. So it almost brings in new arguments, and then that leads to the 30-year-old that doesn't do it anymore, 40-year-old that doesn't do it anymore because it's like, oh well, screw you, we fought over this so many times. Well, then you can do it every time,
right.
kind of concept. So,
Again, in my mind, there's a couple things I think about when you said that. First off, beyond anything else, everybody's gonna have a different way of doing things
mhm,
as long as it gets done. So, I don't know why I thought about the story that you would tell about what makes logical sense as far as how you clean, ceiling to baseboard, right?
yeah,
There is when you're in a relationship, you have to be willing to hear somebody else's perspective
mhm,
and accept logic. Just because the other person says it and has a valid, argument, if you will, for it or valid case for it does not make it true, right?
mhm,
But there are some things that, like, you're not going to clean the toilet and then go dump the mop water in it. That doesn't
yeah,
make sense. Um,
or
so having
clean a ceiling fan, or clean the floor before you clean the ceiling fan.
great example.
Yeah,
Unless you have that whole pillowcase thing nailed down, and then that'd be cool.
yeah.
But
So leave
still,
down in
no.
the comments. Do you start from the bottom and work your way up, or start from the top and work your way down?
And we're only talking about cleaning.
Yep.
Go to Patreon for the other answer. Um, I think having a respectful conversation instead of coming to somebody and being like, "Why are you doing it that way?"
Mm,
And that can make someone feel bad. Well, at least I'm doing it. And that will make someone want to shut down. Secondly, if you get the puppy dog stage was so foreign to me,
mm,
right? I'd never had that. I never enjoyed the whole whimsical, like, I don't know, you go to the bathroom, you clean the toilet every day. You are on your best behavior because you are so caught up in those feelings. And then, like you said, real life settles in and you are just now operating in what your everyday is.
mhm.
Ladies, gentlemen, cats and dogs of all ages. What did he say? My high school teacher used to say, ladies and gents, critters and crittets, and things unclassified. Anyway,
Wow.
um, somewhere out there who had someone had Mr. Vance and they know exactly what I'm talking about. Or troglodytes, he would say that too.
Oh my goodness.
I digress. When you go into a relationship and you are doing certain things, there is a unspoken like expectation that comes along with that. When you and I got together, I was so excited. I like to clean. It's therapeutic. We were playing house, you know. I did not want you to clean at all. Like, you had expressed that you had to do that often. And for me, I was like, mm-mm, not today. I'm going to show him how good I can clean. And then I had done everything. You know, I just wanted you to do you and I would take care of everything else. Well, would it be a big surprise if 2 years later you had gotten used to that?
Yep.
Or you had offered help and I said, no, I got it. Even if it was out of like a spot, not spiteful, but resentment, like, don't worry about it.
Yep.
You didn't come in here and ask earlier. Well, girl, you've been doing this for 2 years. How is he supposed to know
Yep.
that all of a sudden things change? So, communication, dialoguing about what might have changed or where you need help or how you feel about it. Nobody can mind read
Hmm.
unless you can, and then that's cool. But um, being able to have that communication with the person that you're with and saying, "Hey, I know I've done this for a long time. I feel like I could use some help. How can we do that together?"
Yep. And that kind of leads me back to what I was saying earlier about like just if you are going to go do it without being asked or without being told, you're just seeing something that needs to be done. Don't do it just for the gratification of
Recognition.
appreciation and
Mhm.
recognition. Flip side, if somebody does that stuff for you and that's a job that you don't have to do on your chore list, say thank you. you know, that just is the nice thing to do.
Do you feel hmm, I do agree because I actually wrote that down. Doing something for someone to get recognition is not healthy. That's about you. It's not
Yeah.
about them. You're not doing it out of the goodness of your heart. I mean, you can do that. You can have both, right? A duality. So, me cleaning the house from top to bottom, coming in here and organizing your cords or cleaning up the studio or doing your truck. Me cleaning out your truck, I did not anticipate, I did not expect, did not go into it with a I want him to say thank you.
Hmm.
In the beginning though, I went full flare, put a little dress on, call me your maid. I'm going to do everything because I wanted you to see that I was capable and I was going to be this person that you wanted and you can relax. And I think subconsciously, I was like, oh, he's going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful. I appreciate you so much. And you're not much of a words of affirmation guy. So then if I'm doing all this stuff with an expectation of you saying that and then you don't do it, well, then I get bitter. Well, it's totally counterproductive.
Yep.
So do things with a willing heart and expect nothing in return. Just like that 20, if you got a loan out and you loan it out to somebody, don't expect it back. You
Yep.
might have said, "Hey, I want it back," but if you don't have money like that, don't be loaning it out.
Hmm.
Um,
So what's the next point there, Larry?
Ask spouse to make a list of acts of service that will help.
Yeah.
That's what we were just talking
Yep.
about.
Exactly. So
All right.
I think we covered that one. So is there anything else on the list?
Nope. Well, physical touch. That's the next thing.
Well, let's move into that. I mean, we're only 34 minutes into it. Let's continue on. Let's finish it out. Let's finish out five love languages, Larry.
Physical touch. Touch your spouse in ways not in your ways, not in yours.
In their ways, not in yours.
Okay.
So that means like mm, one example is I used to work with a girl, well, a woman that had a husband. I don't know if she actually loved him or not. She says she did, but the way that she talked about him was not words of affirmation. We'll just put it
I
that
was
way.
just thinking about.
And he apparently liked it a lot whenever she scratched his back. Most men do, I think. I think most men probably enjoy little back scratchies. Um, well, she hated it. She would get her nails all done and all this other stuff, perfect back scratching nails. And she wouldn't do it. She hated it. She was like, "Oh, that's so disgusting." You get skin under your nail, like skin particles and all this stuff under your nails, and it's so disgusting. I'm like, "Wash your hands."
She didn't love him.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just kind of what kind of woman she was. She was like that domineering kind of. woman that was all about herself. But what I'm getting at here is that is a way that if you love somebody, not to a point of like absolute uncomfort for yourself, like if you have some kind of trauma based around that, like if she had some kind of trauma, like her uncle made her scratch her back every single night. Well, okay, I understand that now,
Mhm.
you know, but if it's just, oh, that's gross
Gives you a
because
little hand thing.
yeah, just a little back scratcher or so, whatever. Um, Men are simple in that kind of aspect, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean, if it's just like a she's grossed out by it thing, stretch yourself a little bit and scratch it back every once
Mhm.
in a while. Not all the time, but every once in a while. And that's pretty much what that means.
'Kay.
Like I don't like feet, but you put your feet on me because I like your feet, and I'll tolerate those.
Thanks, babe.
No problem. Anytime. What else is on there, Larry?
That's it.
That's it. We finished 5 love languages.
Mhm.
Wow. Well,
Would it be okay if I said one thing?
yeah, of course.
Um, I think knowing what the other person is looking for when it comes to physical touch, and it may be uncomfortable to you, and having that dialogue about like not just trauma, right? But like for me, asking for you to rub my back
Mm,
is really hard, but you are so confident. You're like, "Scratch my back." You don't even have to say please, like, you just know what you want,
yeah.
and I am more than willing to do that, but I will sit there for 30 minutes and think about, "Well, how was your day? Are you tired? You're here asking me to, scratch your back, and then how dare I ask you to scratch my back when one of us wants to go last because that's the best time to go."
Mm,
Um, you have to get comfortable in telling somebody what you want very directly, and this can be carried, um honestly into the bedroom. We were talking about that earlier. If you don't tell somebody what you want and how you want it,
yeah.
how are they to know?
Yep.
So,
Yep. That's a perfect way to end it, I think. All right. Well,
wow.
yeah, I know. Felt like it took forever. I mean, I guess it took 5 months in total to get all done. 5 or 6 months.
Well, I did go on a tangent pretty much every time.
I mean, it wasn't just that. It's just like in general, it took us since the time I wrote that. It's been like 6 months, if not more.
Could we do a wind it up episode, even if it's like a 15-minute one where we take the five love languages again?
Sure.
I think
Yeah, I
that'd be
think that'd be
fun.
good.
And for all of you who have buckled up for me going on and on about certain things, because I get down deep rabbit holes, thank you for participating in that because it really does make you think about every aspect if you're in it together.
Yeah. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this.
Wow, I enjoyed this.
Yeah, no, I got a little Irish there. Yeah, I mean, now we have to start our job of writing down notes for the gaming book, which we should have already done, but I kept on forgetting to do that. I
And
did it
cut
for
that
like
part and don't tell anybody.
I did that for one day. Like I was sitting there just listening to the book, but it is so hard. Like this one, it's easy because he listed everything out. With that one, it's kind of like more narrative almost. He gives you ideas and stuff, but we'll get into that in the next one. So until next time, everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that good jazz. Leave some comments down below. All that stuff really helps.
Mm, I
Uh,
don't know my line. Go ahead.
oh, and then no, I forgot mine. And like always, stay a little odd.
Yeah, that's all I have. It was a good line too.
We'll see you in the next one. We'll go back and watch that, and you can rehearse it. Ta ta for now.